A college student takes the same train journey every summer. At a small station called Deoli, a fleeting encounter shadows his thoughts for years. Today, we are analyzing Ruskin Bond's The Night Train at Deoli. We will map the specific details required for your board exams while exploring the narrator's internal conflict. The author, Ruskin Bond, is a master of capturing fleeting human connections. He frames this story around a brief teenage infatuation, using it as a vehicle to explore how firmly a single memory can embed itself in the human mind. For your long-form answers, you must understand the central tension, a young man's choice to preserve a perfect image rather than confront a potentially difficult reality. But the weight of that choice depends on the factual, physical constraints of his journey. The narrator is a young college student on his summer vacation. His destination is his grandmother's house in Dehradun. The narrative hinges on a tiny railway station located just before Dehradun, called Deoli. Note this first critical detail for your exams. Deoli sits exactly 30 miles short of Dehradun. The train arrives at this remote outpost at exactly 5 a.m. It stops for exactly 10 minutes. The platform is almost entirely barren. There is a single tea stall, a station master's office, and a few stray dogs. Surrounding this isolated stretch of track is the edge of the dense Indian Terai jungle. Despite it being the middle of summer vacation, the early mornings at this jungle border station are sharply cold. The isolation, the brief 10-minute window, and the cold morning air combine to create a highly specific environment. It is a setting built perfectly for a fleeting encounter. Looking out his window into that cold morning, the narrator spots a girl walking down the empty platform. A crucial descriptive point for your exams. She is entirely barefoot, a direct physical indicator of her extreme poverty. She approaches his window carrying a pile of cane baskets to sell. Yet her physical demeanor contrasts with her economic state. She carries herself with natural elegance and dignity, commanding the narrator's immediate, unspoken attraction. The interaction leads to another specific exam fact. The narrator buys the basket off the very top of her pile for exactly 1 rupee. The moment is cut short when the train guard blows his whistle, and the heavy engine violently lurches forward. Its mechanical noise drowns out whatever final words the barefoot girl attempts to speak to him. The strict 10-minute halt enforces an absolute end to the meeting. A simple 1 rupee transaction becomes an unresolved obsession that the narrator carries all the way to Dehradun. On his return journey at the end of the summer, his physical reaction is palpable. As the train nears Deoli, his heartbeat races with anticipation. He spots her on the platform. She recognizes him and smiles, validating that the brief attraction is mutual. He steps off the train. Internally, he wrestles with a desire to pull her onto the carriage and take her away with him, but he is paralyzed by his own hesitation and social constraints. Instead, he makes a verbal commitment. He asks her to stay at the station and promises her that he will return. Her response underscores the isolation of her life. She tells him she has nowhere else to go. This exchange of a promise ties the narrator to Deoli. It elevates a passing crush into a psychological commitment. The narrator returns the following summer. The train stops at Deoli, but the platform is completely empty. The girl is gone. Breaking his usual passive routine, he steps out of his carriage and actively searches the station for her. He questions the station master, only to find the official is new. The previous station master has been transferred. He turns next to the owner of the tea stall. Take note of this specific detail for your exams. The tea stall owner is explicitly described in the text as wearing greasy clothes. The stall owner delivers a final, empty answer. The girl simply stopped coming one day, and no one knows where she went. With the girl gone and the old staff transferred, the physical links to his memory have vanished. He is left alone with an unanswered question. This brings us to a question for your long-form essay answers. Over all the subsequent years he passes through Deoli, why does the narrator never once break his journey to find her? He continues to pass through Deoli, but he stays on the train. To step onto the platform is to risk finding out she is married, or gone, or living a life of hardship. He relies on the memory of her face rather than seeking the person she has become. He chooses a pristine memory over a messy, potentially painful reality. By never seeking the truth, he remains in control. In his mind, she is forever young, beautiful, and eternally waiting for him on that cold platform. Bond's narrative demonstrates how we protect ourselves from pain by preserving our own fantasies. Let's run through the high-yield facts you need for exam day. First, the distance between Dehradun and Deoli is 30 miles. Second, the train arrives at 5 a.m. and stops for 10 minutes. Third, he purchases the cane basket off the top of the pile for 1 rupee. And fourth, the tea stall owner is described as wearing greasy clothes. For more complete board exam breakdowns and chapter analyses, make sure to subscribe to Uchch Shiksha Sangam with AI. Click the Telegram link in the description below to download our free PDF notes for this chapter, available in Hindi, English, Bengali, and Urdu. By locking down these physical details and understanding the narrator's hesitation, you have everything you need to ace this chapter.